final time today, but not this week. We welcome you to Yas Marina Grand Prix circuit for the Asian Formula 3 Championship. It is a double-header race weekend. This is race 3, round 1, and tomorrow we come back again to qualify and then race 3 more times this weekend. Good afternoon, wherever you are watching our live coverage all around the world. My name is Ian Silvestrin, delighted once again to be joined by former GT and single-seater international racer Aditya Patel. Aditya, this morning we had an absolutely brilliant race. Can we expect more of the same this afternoon?
Yeah, race 2 this morning was an absolute treat to watch. Jehan Daruwala, what a drive, holding off the charging Isaac Hadjar. We can expect a good race this afternoon, I'm sure, because there's a good mix of tyre strategies up and down the field once again. The guys up front, you have to remember, Jehan, starting P3 this time, he's running on used tyres, but the guys on the front row, Pierre-Louis Chauvet and Guanyu Zhou, they've got new tyres. So it's a good mix in the top 5. Isaac Hadjar, you have to remember now, is going to be on used tyres. So it's going to be hard to predict. But if it is anything like the race we saw this morning, we are in for a proper treat.
This morning we had a cracking race where Jehan Daruwala held off the challenge of Isaac Hadjar and Dino Beganovic, the young juniors, directly out of Formula 4. Jehan going 2 from 2. He won race 1 yesterday. We'll bring you the grid in just a moment. Pierre-Louis Chauvet on new tyres because Aditya, just before we came into the commentary position, I walked quickly up pit lane. I can tell you Nicola Marinangeli and Arina Sidorkova brand new, in fact, sticker tyres. Pierre-Louis Chauvet on newish. I think they've just been a lap bedded in, but Sidorkova and Marinangeli brand new sticker sets.
That's interesting. This means they've probably done qualifying 1 and qualifying 2 on the same set of tyres. They haven't changed tyres for qualifying 2. It's an unusual strategy. You don't see too many people doing that. But if Pierre-Louis Chauvet has managed to just scrub those tyres in, he's basically out on some proper new rubber. It's going to be hard for Zhou to challenge him because we know Zhou has run these tyres in qualifying. So they're at least 5 laps in. They've done at least 20 to 30 kilometers of mileage. And we've seen on this track that every single kilometer counts. We saw how tyres drop away from the drivers really quickly.
Pierre-Louis Chauvet will start from pole position. He has not got off the line remarkably well, let's just say that politely, in the last couple of days, neither at the Dubai Autodrome last weekend. However, he did win race 3 at Dubai 5-6 days ago. As you look at the German, Matthias Luthen, incidentally, his first ever professional car race ever was here at Yas Marina, the final round of the Euro Cup Series in 2019. He had clutch issues yesterday, and by the looks of that, they may have returned.
Yeah, it would be great to see him back in action. Going back to Pierre-Louis Chauvet, he must be worried about the start because, like you mentioned, he had 2 trouble starts in Dubai. The last time we saw he was starting on pole, was it? He lost the lead, but then he had to fight hard to get it back, and then from there on, he just dominated. I'm sure he's got that in his mind because Guanyu Zhou is on the inside, and if Zhou gets a good start, he's got the line into turn 1.
I'm sure that's the first question Jake is about to ask our pole sitter. Pierre-Louis Chauvet down on the grid, ready for race 3.
Thank you, boys. You were talking a moment ago about the tyres and the choices of the tyres. Well, you can have a look at it for yourself here. As you can see, it looks to me like you were absolutely spot on the mark in terms of the tyre choice for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. That looks like a 1-lap set of scrubs to me. So we're going to talk to the pole sitter, who's obviously got a massive pressure cooker building in the car. We're going to try and get a word. Pierre-Louis, good to see you here on pole position. Qualifying yesterday went very well.
Yeah, really nice Q2. And yeah, now I'm using the tires of Q2, so normally they are a bit fresher. And let's see what happens, but I will push for the win.
Now, we found out last time that the start has been a bit of an Achilles heel, a bit of a problem sometimes. Are we going to fix this, man, in time for race 6?
I worked a lot, so now it's maybe more about feeling and just do it. So yeah, I did decent starts in free practice, so now I will try to do the same in race 3. Yeah.
Okay, well, fortunately, this is hopefully going to be your day. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Everybody back home in France hoping and wishing that this is the race that Pierre-Louis Chauvet gets the start right. Now, over in second on the grid, we've got Guanyu Zhou, championship fighter and contender. He was leading the championship before this weekend, of course, by just that 1 point. But in the last couple of races, he's actually really struggled to get a word out of him, or try and see if we can have a chat with Guan Yu Zhou ahead of the race. Guan Yu, it's been a difficult weekend so far, 2 very tough races, but you have bagged crucial points. So I'm guessing from your point of view, championship still very much alive.
Yeah, definitely focus at the start now. There's only one target this race, is to get our victory, and that's my plan. So hopefully everything will go into my way.
Now this is currently your best chance of a win this weekend, because the man up in front of you has not had a great starting procedure these last 2 weekends. What do you think is going to be the key factor?
Key factor on my side is going to be focused on myself, not worry too much about the guys around me. So I think if I do my job correct, especially at the start, and I think I can be, well, if not the leader car into turn 1.
Fantastic. Good luck, Guan Yu. Hopefully it's your day. He has a great chance, and he's on that inside line as well, heading to the first corner, so it could be a very strong one. Now let's go and find the man who won 2 out of 2 over the course of the weekend so far. Johan Darawala, the Indian star for Mumbai Falcons, and he is getting himself ready for another crack at the victory. They're just going to make sure he's in the correct grid position, make sure that the car is working okay. They have to do these final checks before the race gets underway. So we'll see if we can grab a quick word with Johan before... I'm going to come the other side, actually. You stay where you are. We're going to see if we've got time to have a word with Johan, or if the first race check... No, he's a little bit busy, so we're not quite going to have the opportunity with Johan. The pressure's mounting, you see, and he's won 2 races. He wants to win a 3rd, and he's got a great chance of it, so he's going to be focusing. 4th position, we haven't actually been able to speak to him so far this year, so let's get a word in with the Finnish driver, Patrick Pasma, ahead of this 3rd race of the weekend. Patrick, great to see you so far up on the 2nd row of the grid, and you've been working hard to build the speed. This weekend, it's really starting to come together.
Yeah, 2nd row start, and let's get good result.
Now, we saw some good racecraft from you in the previous race. Do you think that this race can be won and lost on the start, or are there going to be some opportunities for you to move forward?
I don't know, we see. We see soon.
Fantastic, short and sweet. Thank you, Patrick. The typical Finnish racing driver, short and sweet, short on words but fast on horsepower. Now we've got Isaac Hajar starting back here in 5th position. We'll want to keep an eye on him off the start. And in 6th position, the feisty Roy Nizani. So there's plenty of drivers going to charge their way through the grid, and they want to get to that first corner first. But obviously tyres are going to be a big factor. Well, look at Isaac Hajar. Again, a very one-lap scrub set of tyres, and we know how fast he was last time out. So this could be a very interesting factor. As Aditya mentioned, Darawala on older sets, but 2 or 3 drivers around on newer sets. This race has all the makings of an Asian F3 classic. Over to you two.
Thank you, Jake. Indeed, this morning's race was a classic. When you do get a moment, check out the replay on YouTube, the official YouTube and Facebook channels of the F3 Asian Championship. I think we're approaching 60, 70,000 views already. Enormous interest in this championship. So much news here in the paddock. We do have a mix of F4, F3, F2 and F1 drivers. Indeed, just a few moments ago, Oliver Rasmussen, who raced to 3rd in the Formula Regional European Championship in 2020, was announced as the 3rd driver for HWA, of course, using identical cars. And you may have caught the start of our coverage at race 1. It was Paul Aron. We alluded to the 3rd driver who will join Dino Beganovic and David Vidalis in the Formula Regional Euro Champs by Alpine. We said we couldn't say anything as soon as we got off air. I'm not sure which site it was, whether it was Formula Scout, F1 Feeder Series, F2 Addict, or Series Feeder on Instagram. Some of them, I think, would have uncovered Watergate had they been around in the 1970s. But yes, Paul Aron will race in the Formula Regional European Championships by Alpine in these cars later on in the season. The sun is shining, 30 minutes. The race duration here, appropriately, it is 30 degrees this afternoon.
Yeah, it's probably the warmest day we've had in the last couple of weeks. It hasn't hit 30 so far. It's always been hovering around the mid-20s, but today you can feel it. You can feel the heat.
This is winter in the Emirates. We heard from Patrick a few moments ago. It's minus 20 outside Oulu in his hometown, so a difference of 50 degrees Celsius. The cool fin, let's use all the cliches in the book. The flying fin, cool as ice, ice, you know. Car 4, position 4, Patrick Pasma for Evans GP. Had a good run this morning. We'll look for him to launch from the second row of the grid. We'll take a look at the grid for you in a moment. 22 cars on the circuit. What a sight this is. The sun is shining here at Yas Marina. The mechanics leave the circuit. This is the final race of the second round of the championship. 15 races in total. We believe one driver further back on the grid has not taken their place. You can see where the Evans Grand Prix mechanics are walking back. There is an empty space. We'll try and pick up who that is for you. It may be either Flutzer or Villagomez. Both of them, you may remember, stalled early on. There was an issue with the electronics, the engine management. That's the reason why. Lorenzo Flutzer pulled into pit lane to put an old set of tyres on. He knew there was nothing to gain, so he saved his best for last. But he may be starting from pit lane. You can see there are 21 cars on the circuit, one in pit lane. As we wait for the green flag, and the cars set off on their formation lap. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, car 3 on pole position.
Pierre-Louis Chauvet definitely has a lot to play for in this race. He wants to win his second race of the series, and starting in pole, nothing better. He's planned it. And then you see someone there who's stalled. Let's hope he can move off before all the cars go by.
Might have been Hadja. Will bring you up to date with that. It's PLC in car 3 on pole. Guan Yu Zhou out of 2. Jahan Darovo. Jahan's on the second row of the grid alongside Patrick. Jahan Daruvala. Roman Stunning, Isaac Hadja, Kushmaini, Dino Beganovic. We believe it might have been Dino who has stalled, but has just restarted. Reese Ushijima, Ayumu Iwasa. As you look at Rafael Villagomez in pit lane. Jambolo Bassi, Roberto Faria, Roy Nisani, Casper Stevenson. On the 7th row of the grid, look for Roy to rocket up through the field. Didn't have a good run in Q2 yesterday. Lorenzo Flutzer, a newish set of tyres for the Spaniard alongside Alexandre Bardignon for Pinnacle Motorsport. Rafael Villagomez now from pit lane. Nicola Marinangeli, a brand new set of sticker GT tyres for the Italian. Speaking of Italians, the Roman Alessio Deleda alongside Irina Sidorkova, 51 for Evans GP. Amna Alcabasi, Matthias Lutten on the 11th row of the grid. Let's hope those clutch issues that plagued the German throughout practice and qualifying magically resolve. As you look at Rafael in pit lane. Team Black Arts, reigning champions in 2020. This is the Mexican from Leon in central Mexico, North America, Rafael Villagomez, to start from pit lane, hopefully, for race 3 here this afternoon.
Yeah, Rafa's going to have to get to the end of the pit lane. He will get the signal from his team to do so, and he will have to wait at the line before the light goes green for him to go. Hopefully Dino's managed to get his place back, and then he should be able to start from P7 where he lines up on the grid. He did seem to get away quite late, but it should be fine for him. This is going to be a cracker of a race, don't you think, Ian? There you see Pierre-Louis Chauvet lighting up his rear tires. Zhu and Daruvala doing the same. They want to make the best of this start. Zhu knows he's got the inside line going into turn 1. He knows Chauvet's Achilles heel is the start, and that's where Zhu needs to make his move.
It looks as though Dino has managed to rejoin, and will start from grid 7 for race 3 here this afternoon. You are watching race 3 of the Formula 3 Asian Championship, the second round of the 2021 championship from the most spectacular race circuit on the planet. This is Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi, the capital city of the United Arab Emirates. Chauvet on pole to the left of your screen, the series leader Guan Yu Zhou to the right. The green flag at the back of the grid for the final time in round 2. We race. This time Zhou stalls. The Chinese championship leader goes nowhere, almost collected by the rest of the field. Chauvet finally launches off the line. PLC in car 3 goes position 1 as one of the Evans GP cars in the background, off, backwards, sideways into the runoff area, and Dino Beganovic also runs off the circuit. What a start by Jahan, up into second place. Chauvet leads the way the opening lap of the race.
Heartbreak for Joe there at the start. I'm sure he wanted to jump Chauvet on the start and he just didn't go anywhere. Let's hope he got his car moving. And there was a little bit of a scuffle into turn 1, but it looks like everybody's back on track and moving again. Pierre-Louis Chauvet now is his best chance. He's on new tires. Jahan is on tires that have run 2 races. As we see 2 cars go side by side, it was one of the high-tech
Casper
cars.
Stevenson for the Evans GP team. Would you believe it? Casper and Irina have gone around Alessio Deleda right in the middle of the 2 Evans GP cars. Surely that will bring out the safety car on the opening lap of the race. Casper car 5, Irina car 51, and Alessio the Roman in car 10 going nowhere. Casper getting out of the car. We are waiting for confirmation from race control. Almost certainly the safety car will be deployed. Casper steps out as Rafael Villagomez rejoins. Irina, she can restart. Damage to the front of Alessio Deleda's car. What a hectic start. Pierre-Louis Chauvet finally launched into the lead. He has not had a good start all weekend, all series, indeed the final rounds of the 2020 Formula Regional European Championship as well. He did struggle to get off the line, but this afternoon, just superb. PLC, the Travel Planet entry, he is travelling in position 1. I tried to put the cliche in there, but it comes to 0 because the safety car brings the rest of the field up behind the Frenchman.
Yeah, but PLC, he can now control the pace. Chauvet must be pleased with that start. Of course, he knows by now that Zhu stalled on the line. But disaster for Evans. 3 cars of theirs, because there was some contact in turn 1 that took one of their cars out, and then we saw the other 2 of Irina.
It was Pasma. It was Patrick, in fact, going round. Wow, the Finn down in 18th position at the moment. A couple of cars coming into pit lane, so Rafael Villagomez started from pit lane and has already passed Stevenson, Deleda, Sidorkova, the Mexican. He's benefited big time from this in unfortunate circumstances. What a start by Ayumu Iwasa, the Japanese driver, in position 4 from grid 9. This is Patrick down in pit lane. The Evans GP team go to work. They can take their time somewhat, relatively speaking, behind the safety car. Now Patrick fires it up, will rejoin the race down in 21st position. So let's check the order for you. Chauvet, position 1. Daruvala, who won race 1 yesterday. He won race 2 this morning. He's behind in second place, Isaac Hadjar. There is the 16-year-old again as they go past the incident scene. Down at turn 6, Isaac in P3. Ayumu, wow. In P4, the Japanese drivers 4 and 5. Reese Ushijima, the American, on the gas here at Yas. Fabulous start by Reese. He's up into P5. Ahead of the 2 high-tech teammates, Roman Stanek, Roy Nissani. Another brilliant start by the Israeli. As you look at Arena down in pit lane. Roberto Faria, Nicola Marinangeli on those new tyres. The Italian in 9th place as Arena steps out of the car. Bad luck for the Russian girl. She has retired. And Cham Bolokbasi in 10th place. Kushmaini, Alexandre Badignon, Guan Yu Zhou. Wow, 13th place. He was on grid 2. He stalled. He was almost collected by Irina Sidorkova. Luckily, she saw the Chinese driver at the last possible moment. The track still blocked. 5 is Casper Stevenson. 10, as you can see, is the Roman, Alessio. So Irina did avoid Guan Yu Zhou, but she's out of the race. Guan Yu, the series leader, just still by 3 points in 13th place.
It's not ideal that Zhou stalled on the start, but I expected him to actually be right at the bottom. We're looking at him now in 13th place on a grid of 22 cars. He's managed to somehow claw his way up to 13th on that first lap, even though he didn't get going till the last car went by. So he must be pretty pleased with that and the situation around him. The safety car has worked in his favor now, and he's going to definitely try and make his way through the field. Like I said before, he's running on a fresh set of tires, while the guys in front, there are probably a few guys who've already run both their sets of tires, and now in race 3, most of them are running tires that have been run in either race 1 or race 2. So this this could work for Zhu. He could make up a few places, at least make up for the start that was a disaster and score some points. Jehan, he knows now that Zhu is a little bit behind, and for him, in his mind, it's probably important to hold fort and stay where he is. I think he knows Chauvet is on a fresh set of tires, and Chauvet is absolutely going to fly once the safety car goes in. Let's not discount Hadjar. Hadjar was absolutely flying in race 2. He gave Jehan a proper run, but that's where you saw the experience of a Formula 2 driver versus someone like Hadjar, who's just out of Formula 4 and not so long ago in go-karts, come into play. He tried everything he could, but Jehan just placed the car in the right place at the right moment, and Isaac couldn't make a move.
Not only a Formula 2 driver, but a Formula 2 race winner in Jehan. You mentioned the points. That is recovery mode. That is what Guan Yu Zhou surely will be thinking. We go back to 2018. The South African driver Rael Hyman, the inaugural Formula 3 Asian champion. That was with Dragon Team High-Tech as Alessio Deleta's car is moved off the circuit, just taking the title by 2 points from Jake Hughes. Ukyo Sasahara from Japan winning for High-Tech 2019. Joey Alders, the Dutchman with Team Black Arts last year. And after 5 races this morning, into the 3rd race behind the safety car, Guan Yu Zhou still is the series leader on 80 points from Jehan Daruvala, 77. Chauvet in position 1 in the race, 3rd in the series on 69. Isaac, the top rookie, 64 points. And Dino Beganovic in 5th place on 61 points. Incidentally, Dino down in 16th place, 17th place in fact, after running off the circuit at the exit of turn 1.
It looks to me like Dino hasn't crossed the line. I'm not sure if he's retired the car or if he's parked somewhere, but on our screens it shows here that he hasn't crossed the line. We're not sure exactly where Dino is at the moment, but he seems to have lost quite a bit at some point during the start and on the first lap. It must have been in that first corner incident, because we see Patrick Pasma had lost a fair bit of ground. Kushmaini fell back as well. So there must have been something between Pasma, Beganovic and Maini. Something's happened there on turn 1, and these drivers have lost ground.
Well, as Chauvet disappeared into the lead, Guan Yu Zhou, we were focusing on the championship leader from China. He stalled. We just got a glimpse of Pasma and Beganovic very, very quickly going round at turn 1, which is where the field are approaching now. At least 3, possibly 4 laps behind the safety car. Chauvet on his 4th lap. This is race 3 of round 2 of the Asian Championship, the Formula 3 Championship of Asia for 2021. We will be back tomorrow morning to bring you qualifying live for round 3 of the series and 3 more races here this weekend.
I've just got word that Dino had to pit for a new front wing, so there was definitely some contact. Let's try and get a replay of the start. That should give us a better idea of what happened there. But yes, definitely Dino, Patrick Pasma, Kushmaini and a few other cars involved in that first corner incident there.
Chauvet, relaxed as you like, leads behind the safety car. It would have been a nice view from one of the few Etihad flights we just got a glimpse of, flying in over the circuit of the start. I know that's an exaggeration. This is a replay of the start. Zhou stalls. Chauvet rockets down into the lead. Daruvala up into 2nd place. Watch to the left of your screen. One of the Evans GP cars, a complete 360. Dino running off the circuit. So it was Patrick and Dino coming together. Dino with damage, joining a long way down. Patrick going right round. He did pit. He's down in 18th place after rejoining the race. A hectic start for both the Scandinavians, the Finn and the Swede. Dino, a new front wing. Patrick into pit lane. Ironically, Dino's in 17th place. Patrick in 18th. They were in the top 5, fighting for victory, we thought, prior to the start. But now they're only just inside the top 20.
And all that played in the hands of Ayumu Iwasa and Reese Ushijima, the high-tech drivers. You see, it's Iwasa, Ushijima, Stanek, Nisani. They're all together in the mix now. And they're definitely going to work together to stay with the leaders. If I'm not mistaken, they have definitely run on a better set of tires for this race. I'm not sure. I would assume so if I were in their shoes. There we see one of the aircrafts landing into the airport right
There
next
we
to us.
go. Etihad still flying, keeping the world moving. And Emirates doing likewise, flying into Dubai, where we race the 4th round next week for all our aviation fans out there. And there are quite a few of them. I know we're getting a little bit off track, but motor racing and aviation, somewhat of a link. The circuit here just a few kilometres, I should say, from the Abu Dhabi airport. This is the Grand Prix circuit, another lap behind the safety car. A good point you raised there, Aditya. The two high-tech drivers, three high-tech drivers, the two Japanese drivers, Ayumu Iwasa, the reigning French Formula 4 champion, ahead of the American-born Japanese driver, Rhys Ushijima. And then Roman Stanek, 4 in fact. Roman's in 6th, and Roy Nissany, another fabulous start. The Israeli driver rocketed off the line. He's in 7th place, ahead of Roberto Faria, Nicola Marinangeli, and Cem Bolikbasi in 10th place. The Doge back driver from Turkey. He was the esports Formula 1 champion. He won that title here in Abu Dhabi in 2017. Nice to see that story featured, incidentally, on the official F1 website and social media pages, noting the performances of Cem Bolikbasi, also racing in the Formula 3 Asia Series, and the young Turk in 10th place.
It's great to have a Turkish driver on our grid. He's got a huge following as well. It just goes to show
Massive.
that gamers, they're the ones with all the followers. What's happening with the race drivers? They need to start doing something about their social media now.
Hey, let's remember that Cem Bolikbasi is a real-life racer as well. He actually raced in the Formula Renault Euro Cup in these identical cars, albeit with a different engine. We are powered by the Autotechnica tuned 1.75-litre turbocharged Alfa Romeo engine. The Renault Euro Cup now being rebadged as Alpine for the 2021 Formula Regional European Alpine Championship, and also Cem Bolikbasi racing in GT4 in 2020. But yes, I'll concede that point to you, Aditya. Online simulator racing, it's reasonably popular. Can I say that?
It's got pretty popular in 2020.
Pretty. It's outrageously popular. As the safety car prepares to pull into pit lane.
Yeah, and now is when Chauvet is going to back the field up and try and make a run for it without Jehan sticking to the back of his car. It's going to be interesting to see at which point Chauvet decides to pull away from the field. He has to remember, it's still quite far to go before they get to the pit lane. He cannot pass the safety car before the car enters the pit, before the car crosses the safety car line. So Chauvet is going to back up the entire field. But I think you can't go wrong here. Chauvet has the pace in control. It's going to be in Jehan's hands now, because Jehan, he needs to keep an eye on Chauvet and get going at the right time, because Isaac Hadjar is not going to make it easy on this lap for him.
Underneath the W Hotel, the 5-star, or is it 6-star, Aditya? You tell me.
There's way too many stars at that hotel, but there we go. Chauvet has put his foot down, and Isaac right behind Jehan now.
The safety car pulls into pit lane. Nice restart by Chauvet. Daruvala under attack by Isaac Hadjar. Wajiwasa. In 4th place, the young Japanese driver, Daruvala. He won race 1, he won race 2, being attacked by the 16-year-old as he was this morning in race 2, but not for the lead. This is for 2nd place. Chauvet disappearing down the road. The restart of race 3 here this afternoon. Chauvet, Darulova, Hadjar, Iwasa. Good start by Rhys Ushijima, Roman Stanek, Roy Nissany, Faria and Nicola Marinangeli. We're watching the Italian on what was a brand new set of tyres. Hadjar goes defensive, Iwasa follows him, hard braking down into turn 6. Down through the gearbox, flick left over the ripple strip, and then accelerating, trying to keep the car as straight as possible. Chauvet disappearing the gap already 0.8 of a second as Ushijima, Stanek, Nissany, 4-team high-tech try to stay with this fight for the lead of the race. Daruvala goes defensive as he did this morning.
He had his mirrors full of cars when he had at the restart. He had Isaac right behind Iwasa. He's on fire. We're seeing him now fighting with the guys in front, and the high-tech boys, I think they can see a small piece of the podium in front of them. Jehan now, though, seems to have found a rhythm, just slightly inching away from Isaac, but Isaac does have very good pace. We saw in race 1, he didn't make any mistakes. His car is so well balanced. He was literally on rails when Jehan was sliding around, as we see one of those military aircrafts go over us.
That's
there.
not Etihad. As they go under the W Hotel, Chauvet is disappearing down the road. This is almost a replay of what happened this morning, but heartbreakingly for Hajar, if he does get by Daruvala, it won't be for the leader of the race. It will only be for second place. Chauvet races across the line on 154.87. He's 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody else in the race. They gap 2.3 from PLC back to JD in P2. Hajar, and then we've got Ayumu, Iwasa, Reese, Roman and Roy for Team High-Tech. They run 5, 6 and 7 ahead of Faria and Martin Angeli.
High-Tech got off to a slow start this weekend, if you remember. In practice, they weren't really up there like they were in Dubai, but they seem to have slowly made their way up as the weekend went by. They've still got 3 more races to go. We've got another round tomorrow, so we've got race 1 tomorrow, race 2 and 3 day after again. So the High-Tech boys must be happy with the progress that they've made. They're catching up with the guys in front as the week progresses. Back again now with Jehan and Isaac. Jehan seems to just be pulling that gap from Isaac. You have to remember both of them are on slightly used tires now. Chauvet, on the other hand, on new tires. So it's going to be hard for these guys to take the battle to Chauvet. But now it's just between Jehan and Isaac, while we see Stanek and Roy. Stanek and Roy, but Nisani was on the inside. He is probably going to make the move stick.
Chauvet pulling away from the rest of the pack. Almost out to 3 seconds is the lead of the race. We go to Daruvala, Isaac Hajar, Ayumu Iwasa. Look at the battle between the High-Tech teammates. Reese, Roman and Roy. The world-class High-Tech team racing in the FIA F3 and Formula 2 championships. Of course, run the team by the 2005 World Kart Racing champion Oliver Oakes, who took that title 16 years ago at Braga in Portugal, driving a PDB blood kart. He's now got a world-class team. Of course, they took Nikita Mazepin into the 2021 FIA Formula 1 World Championship. The team based at Silverstone, and they're in contention for victory here this afternoon as well. Reese across the line in position 5, trying to chase down Ayumu Iwasa. The battle further back in the pack. Bolak Basi, head of Kushmaini, Badinyong, Bogdanovic and Pasma. Guan Yuzhou up into 9th place. Here comes the Chinese superstar from Shanghai. On the charge, he's already in the points.
Zhu is making his way up really, really quickly. It was just a couple of laps ago that we saw him in 13th place, but he's passing some drivers who are not so easy to pass. Next down the road, he's got Roberto Faria, less than a second in front of him, and then he's got to catch Stanek and Nisani. Those two teammates didn't make it easy for each other, but Nisani finally managed to get the better of Stanek.
Again, as you picked this morning, Aditya, Isaac so deep under brakes down into turn 6. Here is Nisani and Stanek going through. Back to Faria. Behind him, car 33, Guan Yuzhou trying to pass the Brazilian from Rio. Roberto Faria doing a good job in car 7 for Team Motorscape. Comfortably in the points as the battle for second place continues. 3.1 seconds. Chauvet's lead over the Indian in second. Hajar third, and a super drive this afternoon from Ayumu Iwasa. From Osaka in Japan, the reigning French F4 champion, the Red Bull Honda back junior in 5th place. 4th place, I should say. Reese is in 5th.
Ayumu Iwasa in 4th place, but he's watching Hajar hound Jehan Daruvala. He knows these two are going to start fighting, and that will give him a good chance to possibly make a move. Isaac has picked his pace up again. We saw on the last lap he reeled Jehan in, but Jehan, we saw how intelligent he can be. He lets the car behind get close to him, and then he lets his driving do the talking. But Isaac Hajar has been super impressive. He didn't let Jehan push him around. He made the moves when it mattered, or he tried. It didn't work out, but it was impressive to watch.
He's so straight. He keeps the car so straight. And as you get a glimpse briefly of Pierre-Louis Chauvet, the Travel Planet Pinnacle Motorsport entry in P1, 4 seconds now for the race leader, Pierre-Louis Chauvet. The final two-thirds, or the final third of the race. We are past two-thirds race distance. As you see, Guan Yu Zhou in the background, starting to catch the leaders. He's in the points. This is the race leader. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, Car 3, the Travel Planet Pinnacle Motorsport team, run by the Irishman John O'Hara, a former racer back in the day in Formula Ford 1600. And now he's got this world-class team in this fabulous championship. 22 cars from 17 nations here in the United Arab Emirates, but it's a Frenchman who leads the way. The fight for second place, Hadjar dives down the inside under brakes, tries to take Jahan Daruvala, can't quite do it. Ayuma Iwasa watches on, he's too far back to capitalise. The Japanese drivers here in the Asian Championship, 4 and 5. Daruvala, so much experience for the Red Bull Formula 2 driver, trying to keep the young French kid, I won't say Frenchman, he's just 16 years of age, of Algerian descent from Paris. He's in third place, driving superbly for Evans GP.
He's such a sharp kid, Isaac Hadjar. We see him walking around the pit. You won't realize he's a racing driver. He's a kid.
Well, the fact that he's only 4 foot tall probably says the first thing, gives us the first clue.
And look at him on the racetrack. We were actually talking about him today when someone looked at him walk by and said, "Is he Isaac Hadjar? Is he the guy who was fighting with?" Yep. And there we go again. You see Isaac Hadjar on the track, really hounding Jehan from behind, but Jehan is not giving up easily.
Yep, that be the boy in P3 chasing down the Formula 2 race winner for the Mumbai Falcons. This is good points for Jahan Daruvala from Mumbai. For the Mumbai Falcons team will take the series lead. We're looking for Guan Yu Zhou. He has got by Roberto Faria. So from stalling from the front row of the grid, the Chinese superstar now up into 8th place.
He's got 8 minutes to try and make a few more places up. I think he's going to try to get himself into that top 5. He is going to catch Stanek pretty soon. He's less than a second behind Stanek and another second and a half behind Nissany. It's Ushijima who he's going to try and have to catch after that. That's going to be difficult in 8 minutes, but I'm sure we've seen Zhu in the past. He is loaded with fire and he's going to give it all to try and get into that top 5.
He's quick. He's a damn good racing driver at the moment. He's on 4 points. And Daruvala would pick up 18 points. And remember, there was just 3 points between the 2 Asian drivers from China and India, respectively, coming into this 6th race of the 15-race championship. So Daruvala would take the series lead into the 3rd round, which gets underway with qualifying tomorrow morning, as Daruvala races by the marina under the W Hotel. I almost called it the W Series Hotel. Of course, that races back into life in 2021 using identical Tata's T318 Formula 3 cars.
Yeah, the W Series will be back soon. Everybody is looking forward to that championship. They've got a good grid for 2021. Coming back to this race now, Isaac Hadjar just isn't able to do what he was doing in the first race. I think it's a lot down to the tires as well. It's not so easy to drive these cars around the track when the tires are worn out. But we see Ayumu Iwasa has also lost ground to the leaders. And in all that, Guan Yu Zhou just getting past Roman Stanek. He is making his way up really, really quickly. He's got Roy Nissany 1 second down the road from him. He's literally passing cars the moment he gets to them.
From the back of the grid, from stalling on the grid, he's now up into 7th place, which equates to 6 points. Incidentally, Amna Al-Khabazi down in 15th place. She's also fighting up from the back of the grid, has just gone purple. The young girl from here in the Emirates, this is her home circuit, has set the fastest second sector of the entire race. Guan Yu Zhou on screen now down into turn 6, trying to race down and pass Guan Yu Zhou, the Formula 2 drivers. In 6th and 7th place, Reese is ahead, Roman's behind. Guan Yu Zhou needs every possible point for the Formula 3 Asian Championship.
He's giving it absolutely everything. He is reeling Nissany in really quickly, but Nissany is not easy to pass. We saw again last week in Dubai when Jehan and Nissany were fighting for P2. It was almost impossible to get past Nissany. So Zhu is not going to have it easy. He may have been passing cars really quickly up until now, but let's see what it's like when he gets behind Nissany. This is going to be a battle to watch.
2 world-class drivers. That's Guan Yu. We've got him on our sights now. His teammate going through sorry, it's not his teammate. Apologies for that. That's Reece Ushijima going through. Guan Yu Zhou up behind Roy Nissany. The last time that Roy Nissany was in action here at Abu Dhabi was for the Abu Dhabi F1 Grand Prix, free practice one for the Williams Grand Prix team.
He definitely has a lot of experience around this circuit, but he's also got his mirrors full of Guan Yu Zhou at the moment.
On your screen now, Guan Yu right behind Roy. They go down into turn one. We're watching the Israeli defend. Guan Yu Zhou has a look at the back of car 14 from Team High Tech. Abu Dhabi racing by the Prima Power team, car 33. Incidentally, his teammate Dino Beganovic 1 place out of the points. He's fought his way back up into 11th place ahead of Patrick Basma. Iwasa goes by. Reece Ushijima. Roy Nissany races down the corkscrew section. Goes wide. Now he's going to be vulnerable. Guan Yu Zhou will get the slipstream down the back straight. The dying stages of race 3. Roy drives to the left. Guan Yu drifts into the middle of the circuit, now goes out wide. Nissany covers the line, goes slow through the left-hander. Guan Yu Zhou will be getting incredibly frustrated now. He's got another opportunity. Guan Yu Zhou on the back of Roy Nissany.
He tried to sell him the dummy there and it didn't work, but
Nissany's too good.
Nissany's, like we said, it's so hard to get past Nissany. There we see again. They're moving around quite a bit. I'm sure the stewards will have their eyes on that.
Wow, Guan Yu Zhou around the outside, just sent it. The kid from Shanghai with a spectacular move takes the place. Guan Yu Zhou goes through from stalling off the start from the front row of the grid. He was stone motherless last. Position 22. Guan Yu Zhou, the Alpine Formula One junior development driver, now into 6th place. What a drive by Guan Yu Zhou.
He is showing us why he is in that Formula One car. He's not in the car this season, but I'm pretty sure we'll see Guan Yu Zhou in a Formula One car soon. But what a move. I haven't seen a move like that in a race for a long, long time.
That was one almighty sand. He just did not lift. He had the line and just accelerated up to the apex, turned in and took the place. So Guan Yu in 6th, Roy back to 7th. Ahead of his teammate Roman Stanek, Roberto Faria. Good drive, the kid from Rio. And Gianbolik Bassi in 10th place. Now defending from Dino Beganovic. Incidentally, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, the gap 6.6 seconds. He did exactly the same thing last week at the Dubai Autodrome to win race 3. History repeats here this afternoon at Abu Dhabi.
Pierre-Louis Chauvet, he's planned it really, really well. He saved his best tyres. We saw when he was sitting on the grid, the tyres were almost brand new. They're probably just a couple of laps in them. He saved them for this race, and it shows on the timing screen. He is 6 seconds in front. We know that Jehan and Isaac Hadja, they're on older used tyres, so it's not going to be easy for them to challenge Chauvet, but the battle is between the two of them. Hadja just isn't able to reel Jehan in like he did in race 1, though. He's got 2 minutes to go in this race, which means the next lap will be the last lap. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be easy. The last time around in race 2, we saw Hadja mount a few moves on Jehan, but wasn't able to make them stick. But this time, it seems a little bit harder for him to catch Jehan. Zhu, on the other hand, is catching Reece Ushijima. That top 5 position is in his sights.
From the back of the grid, this has been one almighty drive from Guan Yu Zhou, the Chinese driver, coming up behind the Japanese driver for Team High Tech. Reece in P5, his countryman Ayumu Iwasa driving superbly. He's just 1 position off the podium. Not too far back from this battle between Isaac Hadja and Jahan Daruvala. If they start to fight, there is the young Japanese kid. Superb performance, a superb start from Ayumu Iwasa. He's in 4th place. If they fight, if Isaac does make the move, well, he may capitalise, but I think that's unlikely, given what happened this morning.
It looks tough. It's the last lap right now. Jehan's not making any mistakes. Isaac really needs to pull something out of the bag if he wants to make that move, but he's just too far behind. And just as we say that, Pierre-Louis Chauvet trying to put in the fastest lap of the race with the fastest first sector so far.
Justice appears down the bottom of your screen. We wait for the Indian and Isaac Hadja in 2nd and 3rd place. Pierre-Louis Chauvet on his way to victory. The gap last week was 6.9 seconds, almost identical. It's 7.1 between Chauvet and Daruvala. Isaac Hadja in third place, too far back to mount a challenge on this, the final lap of race 3 here this afternoon.
Yeah, it looks like Isaac Hadjar is not going to be able to challenge Jehan for that second place. Almost a flawless race weekend for Jehan. 2 wins and a second place. I think he can't be happier considering the tyre strategies that you've got. We just saw Pierre-Louis Chauvet at the edge of our screen there going away to take the checkered flag on this last lap.
Daruvala will take the series lead into the third round, which gets underway here at Yas Marina tomorrow morning. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, the Travel Planet Pinnacle Motorsport driver, is on a voyage to victory here this afternoon under the W Hotel. For the final time, we have ticked over 30 minutes. We wait for the race leader to emerge. He's got an enormous lead. The checkered flag PLC in car 3 goes position 1 and takes his second victory in the Formula 3 Asian Championship for 2021. What a drive from Chauvet.
Fantastic drive by Chauvet. He must be absolutely pleased by that drive. 2 wins in 2 weekends. And you're on the show. He's made the move on Risu Shijima. We seem to have missed it on that lap.
He's done it. Can you believe Guan Yu takes Reese on the final lap of the race off screen to take 5th place? What a drive by Zhou.
Fantastic to come through the field on a racetrack like this. Then put yourself in the top 5. What a drive by Zhou. That just shows his class.
Isaac again on the podium. Jehan Daruvala for the Team Mumbai Falcons will take the series lead. I was going to say the halfway point, not quite. We have raced 6 times out of 15 for the 2021 championship. Guan Yu Zhou, let's check. He finishes in 5th, so that's 10 points. Jehan in second on 18, I believe. And I told you my mathematics was poorer, did ya? But we believe Daruvala will have the series lead by 5 points going into round 3 tomorrow morning.
This is turning out to be a very exciting championship. We saw Zhu run away with 2 wins in the beginning of the series and thought, this is what the series is going to look like. But no, it's changed.
Not at all. A fantastic race and at an amazing place here this afternoon. Pierre-Louis Chauvet picks up his second victory of the series. So 6 races and we've got 3 double race winners. 2 for Chauvet, 2 for Guan Yu Zhou, and 2 yesterday, 24 hours ago, and this morning for the Indian Jehan Daruvala.
And right now it looks like the championship is between the 3 of them. But once again, we can't rule out Isaac Hadja. He's not far behind. He's got solid pace. He's been rapid all weekend. He's really enjoying this circuit. So we've still got 3 more races to go. We've got 1 race tomorrow and 2 races the day after that. Isaac Hadja, he's definitely going to try and pull things together to try and get a victory or 2 out of those races.
There is our race winner, travelling back to pit lane by the marina. Of course, he will be racing in the FIA Formula 3 Championship. We say good afternoon to Andreas and Esther Jensa, their boy, who will line up for them in the FIA F3 Championship. Much colder at Jensa Motorsport headquarters in Switzerland. But their boy has taken victory here this afternoon for the Irish-owned Pinnacle Motorsport team. John O'Hara will celebrate down in pit lane. Good drive from Ayumu Iwasa. The Red Bull Honda Junior comes into Parc Fermé now. A fabulous start, but he had the pace throughout the race. 4th place for Iwasa.
Starting 9th all the way up to 4th, he made full use of the commotion on turn 1 at the start. Got himself up into 4th place. He had his teammates behind him, so they made sure they didn't make any mistakes. Of course, we saw that good battle between Nissany and Stanek where Nissany managed to get past. But once again, Guan Yu Zhou coming through the field like a rocket.
Jehan in 3rd place, 2nd place I should say. Ahead of Isaac, PLC in car 3 goes position 1, takes his 2nd victory of the 2021 Formula 3 Asian Championship. Fabulous, faultless drive. It goes back to the start. He has struggled to launch off the line throughout the series, but this afternoon, no mistake from Chauvet. He led into turn 1 as carnage unfolded behind him. Celebrating there with John in the white shirt. Tristan.
Great guy, John. Super supportive team manager, team owner. I've raced with him in the past. I did a few days of testing. It was good fun to be around the team for those couple of days. Super supportive to his drivers.
Did you understand his Irish accent?
I did, in fact. It took a few minutes to get the hang of it, but we managed to get around his accent. It wasn't too bad.
Hey, I can talk from the land down under. And of course, Aditya Patel, former single-seater and GT racer, our co-commentator, providing expert comments here this afternoon from the subcontinent.
While you say that, we see Isaac Hadja feeling the heat as he took his helmet off. It is a warm afternoon. It's 30 degrees here in the winter.
There is the kid from Paris who finishes on the podium again for the Malaysian-based, Australian-owned Evans GP team. Super drive. It is quite warm. There is Jahan. He's got the experience. He knows what this is about. Of course, Formula 2 races considerably longer. Physically, though, everyone has been commenting on how hard these cars are to drive physically. They are very heavy. The steering wheel is a long way back towards the driver. There is no power assistance of any sort on these Tartas Formula 3 cars.
You have to remember, 680 kilos. That's what the car weighs with the driver at the start of the race. And a decent amount of downforce. So when they are going through the fast corners, the steering wheel does get a bit heavy in these cars. But I was speaking to Jahan the other day. He said the Formula 2 drivers with the Formula 2 cars with the amount of downforce generated get a lot heavier than these, of course. And they are a lot faster. But they have those 18-inch wheels. So it makes it a little bit different, especially with the driving styles.
Well, young Isaac has certainly adapted well straight out of Formula 4. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, he's got a lot of experience with these cars, racing with Van Amersfoort Racing in 2020 in Europe. And Jahan Daruvala, of course, Formula 3, FIA F3, back when they were using the Dallara chassis still, the Dallara 318 off memory. And of course in Formula 2 as well. Let's go down to the race winner, Pierre-Louis Chauvet.
Pierre-Louis, it's very rare that you get to drive the perfect race. That really did seem like the perfect race. What was it like out there?
Yeah, first of all, I did a really nice start, so I was happy about that. And then I just managed my tires on the safety car, and then the pace was really nice. Also, the safety car restart, and it was just driving as I normally do, and the pace was great. So I'm really happy. The car was really nice.
So now this really is a three-way title fight because all three of you drivers have won 2 races each. You go into round 3 tomorrow. I guess the championship fight starts here.
Yeah, exactly. I think we are quite close in the championship, and I would like to really thank my engineer because we are doing a really nice job together, and honestly, I'm really happy about that.
Formidable, Pierre-Louis. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's see if we can grab a word with Jahan Daruvala. He is still very busy at the side of the circuit. I think he is still in conversation. We'll try and get a word with Isaac Hajar. Let's see if we can get Isaac over. Obviously, everybody wants a piece of these drivers at the end of such a tough race. But as you guys mentioned, I do think we have got a new championship leader in Jahan Daruvala. He is going to make his way over. And the Mumbai Falcons driver having taken 2 wins. All 3 drivers now have 2 wins apiece, of course. Guan Yu Zhou, Pierre-Louis Chauvet and Jahan Daruvala. Jahan, a tough race, but a brilliant second round. 2 wins and a third. 2 wins and a second even. That now puts you in the lead of the Drivers' Championship by just a handful of points. But that looked like a very tough race out there yet again to try and keep Isaac at bay.
Yes, to be honest, I knew this race would be hard because I had older tires and the guys who started first and second had the fresh ones. So the target was to just be on the podium, and I came second in the end. So yeah, to be fair, Isaac was quick again, but we made some steps in the morning, and at this time I didn't really have to defend. I just stuck to my driving, and it was good enough to finish second.
So I guess on paper the job is to do exactly the same thing over the next 2 days in round 3, but I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as just saying that.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can see that the other guys are quite quick as well. I think we can work a bit to improve, and I'm sure we can have another good week in the coming days.
Brilliant round 2. Good luck for round 3. We spoke to Jahan Daruvala. Let's see if we can get a word with the Frenchman. Isaac Hajar, a stunning second round in all, 3 podiums, 3 brilliant chances for race victories, but I can see again in your body language, you just want more.
Yeah, exactly, but it's the best weekend we had compared to Dubai. I told you it could be only better, and I proved it this weekend with 3 podiums in 3 races, but I still have a lot of work to win, and I hope it's gonna happen tomorrow, maybe.
See, now you have a really tough chance to close up on the 3 drivers in front of you in the championship fight, and your consistency is really strong. Do you genuinely think round 3 is where you can take a race win?
Yeah, definitely. As it's my last round in the championship, so I hope I can win. I can have a win and a pole position also.
Well, it would be great to see you bow out on the top. Well done for this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Again on the podium in 3rd place, Isaac Hajar. Pierre-Louis Chauvet takes his 2nd victory of the series from Jahan Daruvala with the series lead by 5 points, we believe. And Isaac Hajar, he moves up in the standings, I believe, to 4th place on 79 points. So 2 French drivers and an Indian on the Asian Championship podium here in the United Arab Emirates. We're just waiting for the drivers to make their way up to the podium here at the Yas Marina circuit. Of course, we are back tomorrow morning for qualifying, and then round 3 races again. We will pass the halfway point of the championship in the next, 36, 48 hours, Aditya, and then next week at Dubai Autodrome for round 4.
Yeah, absolutely crazy to think this championship began a week ago and we're almost halfway through already. And we'll be done in a couple of weeks. 15 races in 4 weeks. That's a lot of races in so little time. But just as we saw the standings there, in the top 5 in that race, we have 4 of our championship contenders. And I think it's now safe to say it's anybody's game between these 4.
More importantly, from our neutral point of view, well, actually not so much from your neutral point of view, Aditya Patel here with the Dubai Falcons, former GT and single-seater international racer. But we've got some fantastic entertainment. Yes, races 1 and 2 at Dubai last weekend. They weren't the best, let's be honest, but since then it has been sensational. Chauvet taking the victory from Daruvala, Isaac Hajar, Ayumu Iwasa in 4th, Guan Yu Zhou recovers to P5, Reese Ushijima, Roy Nisani, Roman, Roberto, and Jem Bologbasi. The podium for race 3, round 2 of the Formula 3 Championship of Asia here at Yas Marina. Isaac Hajar again on the podium in 3rd place. For the Mumbai Falcons, Jahan Daruvala in 2nd. It is Pierre-Louis Chauvet who takes the victory here in Abu Dhabi to wrap up round 2 of the 2021 championship. Born in Menton, down on the French Riviera, now living in Avignon. 2nd year racing Formula 3. And he's looking to start the 2021 season with the Asian Championship title. A fantastic event, but we come back tomorrow morning for race 3.
Absolutely, just a dinner and a breakfast later, and we're going to be standing here once again for qualifying midday tomorrow after a quick 30-minute practice session, and we do it all over again.
Thanks for your company. Great to have you watching wherever you are all around the world, the Formula 3 Championship of Asia from Yas Marina. We come back here tomorrow morning for round 3. We'll see you then.